Now that the bracing is all glued in, the next step is carving the braces. And there's two things that you're looking for here. One is stiffness, and whenever I try to bend this, it's as stiff as a 2x4. Down here, there's a little bit of give, but that's just because it's wider down here, but it's very stiff. So as you start to remove some of the wood off of the braces, this is gonna loosen up a little bit. The other thing that you're looking for is the tone, the tap tone. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I know a lot about this. This is called voicing the top. And actually what that means is, right now, this tone, when you tap it, it just does not resonate. There's not a lot of ringing tones. And while I don't have a real skilled ear, I don't have just a ton of years of experience of hearing this, I know this sounds very different than it sounded before I put any of these bracings on there. So voicing the guitar or voicing the top means removing a lot of this excess mass here, and in doing so, it loosens it up. It loosens, we talked about just a second ago, the stiffness. It allows the guitar to find its voice. Now, again, I don't have the experience that I can listen to that. I've seen videos of guys that are extremely skilled at this, very talented, and they can tap on it, and they can hear these subtle tones, and they may come in and say, I need to take a little bit off of this finger brace right here, or this tone bar, take a little bit more, and then they tap again and they say, oh, that's perfect, that's just what I'm looking for. Well, I'm nowhere near that. What I do is, I do tap as we go along, and I do listen, and I can, most of the time I can hear the tone start to change. But what I really do, to be totally honest, is I carve these down to where I've always carved them. I know that the heights that I have here are right at the height I want to have. What I'm gonna do is come in and cut a peak, turn these into like pyramids, and then I'm gonna shave these down here to about 2 millimeters where they exit the guitar top. These finger braces, I'm gonna carve them down to where they are basically wafer thin, where they glue up right here. I'm going to remove quite a bit off of this upper transverse brace. I'm going to roll it over. Same thing on these X braces. I'm going to take quite a bit of wood off of here, off of the sides, and that's going to still provide the strength that it needs, but it's going to loosen the top and allow that voicing to happen. So my next step is to start carving these braces. I'm going to start on the easiest one to carve, and that's this upper transverse brace. And I say it's the easiest because all I want to do is just roll it over. So I'm going to use this block plane, and I'm just going to just keep working it. And the objective here is just to make this rounded over at the top. Everything else I'm going to bring to a peak, but here I just want to round it over. I have rough carved these X braces. I'm going to come back with the sanding block and smooth it out. Maybe take a little bit more off here on the upper bout. And I still have the tone bars and the finger bars or finger braces to go. And on these are really, they're not tall at all. So what you want to do is just carve these down almost to the soundboard and then put a little peak on them right here. So I'm gonna try to do this. And on these, you want to bring these down flush. But on the X brace and the upper transverse, you want to leave about 2 millimeters in height here. And I'm gonna come back and adjust these because those will extend through the side, and you'll cut the little grooves in the kerfing. And so you want to leave these proud, these and the tone bars. They come down flush to the soundboard. almighty. So listen up. If you enjoy these videos, you want to keep watching them, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. And that way you'll get an update every time I post one. And if you have a comment, you want to let me know what you're thinking. If you have any tips, if you see me doing something that can be improved upon, let me know. But hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. I've carved everything down with my chisels. Now I've got this little sanding block. I bought a little package of these some time ago at Rockler, and it's got a concave in it. I can take this, and I got some 80 grit paper, some aggressive paper to get started. And on this upper transverse, it'll sand a really nice, consistent roll around over right there. Then I took the same 80 grit and I super glued it to a stick, a block of wood. And I'm gonna come in here and just make sure everything is real crisp right here. And we've all seen sanding, so I'm not gonna bore you with a long video of sanding all this, but I'm going to do this with the 80 grit, then I'll go down probably all the way up to a 220 grit and get these nice and smooth. And then the last thing to do will be to come in here and then round over the inside of the sound hole. So the braces are completed. I've sanded them. I went through I went 80 grit, 120, and then 220. Got them nice and clean, nice and smooth. The lines are nice and crisp. And here's the part where I talked about earlier where, I don't know, just don't have that practiced ear where I've been doing this for years. But it does seem to have more of a ringing sound, more of a little low end than it did prior. And then on the flexibility, up here, because these braces are so thick, I don't feel any give at all. But down here I do. I definitely feel yeah, it's definitely loosened up down here. So again, this is not my area of expertise. I do it the way I've done it. I've done it based on other builders and plans that I've bought and paid for, and it's worked so far. So the next, oh, and by the way, I did round over the inside of this, and the only thing I have left to do, and I'm not going to video it because it's simple, I'm gonna put a little patch right across here, and that just kind of reinforces this this X brace where that lap joint is. So I'll cut a little small pad, put it on the go bar deck, and glue this up. And then the next that does it for this. And now the fun begins. I'm going to get this curly maple out, and I'm going to bend the sides. So stay tuned, that's coming up.